What is up, all my dorks, nerds, geeks, and gamers? It's your host, Ghost here, and I'm joined again with.
Nike, what's up?
And today on Smash Soapbox, this is episode 5. Unfortunately, today, a week ago from yesterday, we lost Chadwick Bosemen. So, for this very first segment of the show, I would like to do a moment of silence for Chadwick Boseman. So, let's do that now. Thank you for taking that moment of silence with us, guys. It was a huge loss for me personally. Chadwick Boseman is Black Panther in my book, just like Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man, just like Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. Chadwick Boseman embodied and was T'Challa. He was Black Panther. He was a kind man, and he did whatever he could to help others before he helped himself, just like a good king would do. And so I hope he rests in peace, and I hope that people can grieve and deal with the loss whatever way they need to, such as his family and his friends and family at Marvel and everyone that was in his life and involved with his life. So, Chadwick Boseman, thank you for everything you did for me as a fan, and for all the millions of fans out there. Thank you. That's all I want to say. First off, before we get the show started, um, now that he has been gone, this is what, the third or fourth week. This will be out about the third or fourth week that he's been gone. I think it's time to discuss what Marvel does with the Black Panther brand in the future. How do we feel would be the right move to move the franchise forward while still paying respects to Chadwick Boseman? Do they recast or do they continue the story and just have him die off in the MCU? I'm wondering what your thoughts are on this.
Well, personally for me, I was even as a kid, I was a huge Black Panther fan.
Yes.
Ghost can attest to that 'cause when we used to have our little
Yep.
verses in our success period of high school,
Yep.
and we would like build our teams. I was always taking Black Panther when we
He
were growing
always said Black Panther every time.
because T'Challa's my dude. Like I
Yeah.
followed him closely. Like I'm not like an extremist diehard fan, but I'm in very well touch with T'Challa and the Black Panther and how it. But as for me, what they should do, don't recast. Let write
Okay.
him. You can write him off in the script. Don't recast. There's a few different ways you want to go. They can actually write it in where they kill him off somehow, and
See,
it's
that's
told
what I
that.
was wondering how that would work if they did want to kill him off. Would they do it? Would they have him already be dead? Like start off with a funeral? Or would they show the action of him dying? Because I don't know how Marvel, I'm trying to figure out how Marvel would do this.
I'm thinking
Um,
they. I'm thinking they would show it, but it would be more like a of a flashback telling. Like it wouldn't be like a
okay.
fully detailed, but it might be like maybe they are having a funeral and like over the funeral and the phase, it's like it's overlaid video where you can see a
Like a battle
montage
or
in the back.
something. Or,
Yeah, montage
gotcha.
in the background, just kind of showing like what's happening. Maybe having his sister Yuri talk over it, giving it more depth, more context.
And I don't
But
think it'll be like a typical death. I don't think they'll just say, "Oh, he fought someone and got killed and died." I think what it'll be is he'll be trying to save someone, and it'll be a sacrifice death where he'll have to make that move to sacrifice himself, or
yeah,
that's what I think it'll be to keep his legacy, kind of keep it
but
solid.
and future planning, they should have Yuri, his sister, taking over Shuri,
Yeah,
um,
I
because
I agree with
I
that because she's in the comics. She is.
yeah, that's what they did do in the comics.
Yeah.
So and you can even tell by in the like in the Avengers and Infinity War and Endgame, but especially in the Black Panther movie. You
Yep.
got to see her, and dude, she flashed on that screen. She was glowing. She
Yes. Yep.
she was definitely an attention getter. Like when she gets on, like when she was in the scene, you were paying a lot of attention to her
Mhm.
because she was quick, she was
She's
witty,
got that. She's got that Tom Holland swagger about her, where she's got that wit and that humor, but yeah, she's still young and she's got that energy about her.
and like the weight of it is not on. She is calm, cool, and collected as can
Yes.
be.
Yep.
And I think she would run away with it to take
Yeah.
over as Black Panther.
Yep.
I think it'd be perfect.
I agree with that. I don't think they should recast.
And then
But saying if they do recast, if Marvel decides to go down that route, I do have a suggestion. The guy from Tenet, who was just in Tenet, he is a killer actor. Apparently, I haven't seen the movie myself yet, but apparently he's a really great actor, and he has that build and swagger that Chadwick Boseman kind of had.
he
I don't.
he had a straight swag to him. Like
He has the look. Yeah.
he has the swag, the it factor, the whole thing. He was the embodiment
Yes.
of Black
Yep.
Panther.
But this guy, I think if they had to replace Black Panther,
As John David Washington.
yes, I believe that's his name. Yep.
Yeah, I'm
But
something
I
else.
think he could. I think he could definitely fit the role.
Wow.
Because I was thinking really hard about this because I mean it's Marvel's in such a hard spot at the moment. With going through this, they're grieving just as much as we are because they didn't know, just like we didn't know.
Yeah.
So they're grieving just as much as we are. They're trying to figure it out. What I'm trying to think is how this affects their future plans, such as Storm coming in to the
Yeah, because
MCU.
that's
Such
his
as the
wife.
Illuminati, such as like starting of that team, such as all these different factors that had Black Panther as a main leading figure coming up in the MCU. I wonder how they're going to address these things. And as a fan, I'm just going to say right now, it doesn't matter how you address it. As long as you guys are respectful, which I know Kevin Feige will be. I mean, look at how they handled Stan Lee's death. That was 100% respectful, in my opinion. And they even took him out of the cameos because you're not going to put a CGI Stan Lee in the movies when he's gone.
Yeah, mad respect for that.
So that's the path I hope they take. And I mean, I'm going to respect them whatever path they choose, but I think they'll make the right call with the future of Black Panther.
Oh, they're going to be 100%. They're going to be careful, calculated, and it'll just be done right. Because, like I said, they handled the Stanley one perfect.
Yep, I agree with that. And I mean, it's not the first time this has happened. We've had other movies where actors have died mid-shooting, such as Fast and Furious, um, The Dark Knight. I mean, many other
Paul
movies where the
Walker and
actors,
Heath Ledger.
yes, where the actors have died mid-production, and then the studios have to figure out what happens. It's unfortunate. Star Wars is another great one with Carrie Fisher dying in between the two movies. So best of luck to Marvel, best of luck to Disney, best of luck to Chadwick Boseman's family,
Yes.
and everybody who is close to him.
I
We miss you,
definitely
and we
said some prayers.
always will miss
A
you.
whole lot of prayers their way.
So yes, moving on. The next topics. Now that we talked about Black Panther, that was the main thing I really want to talk about in the MCU since we had our big MCU special. But because that happened, I really wanted to address that and make sure that I give my respects to the king of
Yes.
Wakanda. So that was that. Let's move on to DC Fandom. Just happened last weekend. We haven't talked about it yet. At DC Fandom, they did drop the trailer for the Batman. This is from the director of the remake of the Planet of the Apes movies. He did the first 3 Planet of the Apes movies. Amazing remakes. If you haven't seen
I was gonna say, no complaints there, because I'm a huge Planet of the Apes fan over here. Early ones and later, like
yes, as am I. Yes, very much so. And he did a great job with those movies. So with him helming Batman, I was a little nervous. Not gonna lie, because to me, the best 3 Batman movies have been Christopher Nolan's Batman movies. I just think they're so well written. They're made for adults. They're not your kid Batman like your Batman Forevers, where they got freaking Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones with makeup on. These are Batman for a real Batman, like in a real world setting, and that's kind of what I liked about them.
everyone played their role in The Dark Knight perfectly.
Yes.
The cast were good.
Yes. Christian Bale, I thought was amazing. Heath Ledger was amazing. The guy that played Scarecrow they chose did a great job. The guy that chose Tom Hardy as Bane, amazing. Even though it's Tom Hardy's small, they made him feel big and tough and intimidating.
I mean, one of my favorite moments in movies ever is the turn of Two-Face in The Dark Knight. That
Yeah.
the way they built that and delivered
Yep.
on it, that like from a creator standpoint, like if you're a story arc writer, or a character development person, like that I enjoy, it was done so good. I was like to see him because like you rooted for him. You're like, no, Harvey's good. Yes, we're gonna go with him, and then to see him just slowly
Having the
spiral.
Joker poison his mind and slowly get him to.
Yeah, because he had Batman. He had Bruce Wayne choose. He goes, you can save
Yep.
her or him, and he's going to save the chick. I don't remember her name.
Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel.
Rachel. Yep.
And so that's who you're going to save. And then actually, the Joker had swapped the
Yep.
addresses.
Yep.
So when he showed up to save her, he was actually where Harvey was.
Yep.
And he was devastated. He was like, why? Because he automatically thinks, like, why you want to save me and not her?
Well, and the reason that movie in particular, The Dark Knight, stands out to me, I know we're a little off topic from the current DCU,
Yeah.
but we'll get back to it. Is it wasn't. It was actually a two-faced story. When you really look at it, Harvey Dent in that movie was your main character.
Yeah.
And then you had Batman as the angel, and then you had Joker as the devil, representing the two sides of Two-Face. And they both tore him apart in different ways. And that was what his breaking point was in that hospital bed, where he had to really decide what choice he wanted to go with. And that's
I
when
mean,
he
he has
started to
one of the
become.
best. He has one of the most iconic lines. He's like, they either see you die as a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And I'm like, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. All right, back to the real
Okay.
Batman. We got Robert Pattinson as Batman. I don't know how I feel about that. From the trailers, it's okay. I mean, it's not horrible. I get they're going for a younger Batman. This is supposed to be his second year as Batman, so I understand why they wanted someone who wasn't Ben Affleck, because Ben Affleck plays that grizzled older Batman. I couldn't see him playing a younger role like that.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to the audience. I am not a DC person. Like, it's gonna be hard for me to say good things. Like, so I give him
Right.
the Batman though. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfection.
Yeah.
It's what you strive for. But I mean,
Well, how do you feel about the Riddler as a villain, though? We're finally might get a good Riddler, who's actually based off the Zodiac killer. So that's kind of why he wears that hood with the big goggles, because that's very much a Zodiac killer what he wore
I mean,
in close to real life. I think that's a kind of a cool concept to have a Riddler that kind of messes with your mind. And the other rumor has it that it's going to play into the Court of Owls as well, where we're going to find out that Batman's parents were tied into the Court of Owls and they were training these kids to be assassins and all that, the Talon and all that stuff. So I think I I wish they didn't drop that trailer as early as they did, because we still have a year and a half before the movie even comes out. And everyone kind of already figured out that the Court of Owls are going to be in it, that Riddler is probably going to lead into the Court of Owls. And it's like, dude, we still have a year and a half before this movie's out. And they've only shot 25% of it, but still, we know the movie. Like, so that's kind of my disappointment with it. We're going to have the Penguin in there, Colin Firth, however you say his last name, playing the Penguin under tons of prosthetic makeup that they made him look like someone else for no reason.
Yeah, did you see that meme? That meme was
Yeah.
so funny.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
He does.
Like,
He looks just like him.
you could have hired the actual guy that looks like the guy you wanted him to look like, but whatever. He's a good actor, though, so I understand why they would want him to play the role. I could see him playing a good Penguin impression and getting that the tendencies down pat and all that stuff, smoking the cigar and his little stuff like that. So that has me excited. I wonder what other villains they have hidden in there that they're going to surprise us with and throw at us in the future. Another trailer that dropped, besides Batman, is one of the other better DCEU movies, and that was Wonder Woman. The first Wonder Woman for me is probably one of the better DCEU movies you could pop on it, pop on the TV and watch. And I almost said hop on the TV, but you can't hop on a TV.
It's
Pop
all
on the
good.
TV and watch.
I still haven't seen it. So.
Wonder
I
Woman's
will.
pretty good.
I will someday.
But the sequel's coming out, and this time they're introducing. The first movie had Ares as the villain, but you didn't know that until the very, very end. They kept him hidden. This one is going to have Cheetah as the villain. Cheetah is a cool villain.
Yeah,
I wanted to see Cheetah since the beginning.
Yeah, I think she's actually probably one of her very most well known.
The only problem I have with the casting of Cheetah is they have Kristen Wiig from Bridesmaids playing Cheetah.
Yeah,
And I'm like, she's a 100% comedic actor. I do not see her bringing any weight or gravitas to Cheetah. Like,
yeah, because you gotta be.
you gotta have that sense of dread. Like, I'm turning into a human cheetah. Like, my life's ruined. Something's bad happening. So she doesn't have that. You know what I mean? She's a comedic actor. I don't see that working. But I haven't seen the movie yet, so who knows? I've seen actors pull off some amazing feats doing.
I mean, the biggest one for me is Chris Evans. I knew that
Yeah,
dude from, like Not Another Teen
yeah,
movie.
true.
And then the
Yeah,
Fantastic Four when he played Johnny Storm. And then dude, he came and played Captain America and he killed it. I was like, damn, didn't see that one coming. That was a good call. Good call there.
well, another great one is Simon Pegg. He does those. He can do
Oh.
very, very serious movies, and then he can also be the funniest dude in any movie you've ever seen. Sometimes it just depends on what the role and the writing is. So it depends on if Kristen Wiig gets a good director and a writer. Patty Jenkins is coming back,
Mm-hmm.
the same director for the first one. Chris Pine is coming back as well. I don't understand why he's coming back, but he's Chris Pine, so I guess bring him back. He's not doing much else of anything at the moment, so whatever. Speaking of Chris Pine, that was another candidate for Wolverine that I was thinking of that I didn't think about earlier. Chris Pine is Wolverine.
Hey, he could probably pull it off.
I think so, maybe. But that was that just popped into my head.
No. It's
Not as good as Keanu Reeves, but I'd
Keanu.
rather have Keanu Reeves.
Shout out to my man Keanu Reeves. Still hope to meet that dude someday. Like
Shout
I
out
would
to
love.
Keanu Reeves.
I just love to shake his hand and just talk to him for like an hour.
Oh, dude,
I
I'm
feel
sure
like
he'd love it.
he'd be the chillest dude, and
Yeah.
it just. I feel like you'd walk out, and you'd feel like like a Buddhist or something. You'd feel all this wisdom. You wouldn't know what
Two
to do
people
with
I'd
it
love
all.
to meet: Keanu Reeves, Kevin Smith. If I ever met those two dudes in real life, I know they'd both
Yes.
be awesome. So I'd be like, "What up?" Meet them. But the other trailer we got was from James Gunn's newest movie, Suicide Squad, called The Suicide Squad. It is a sequel slash soft reboot slash its own thing. So
Already got a soft rebooted.
yeah, I don't understand what it really
Well, it's
is because
like
I
cause
mean
they
Harley
kept
Quinn's in it
Margot. Yeah, they kept
and
Margot Robbie as
Captain Boomerang's in it, and then the other guy, Rick Flag, is in it, and Viola Davis is in it. So they have some characters from the original that are coming back, but everyone else is going to be brand new. Um, and it's James Gunn. And when you think about James Gunn, before he started directing Guardians of the Galaxy, he said there's one superhero movie I want to do. And they said, "What is that superhero movie?" He said, "The Suicide Squad." I always wanted to do a Suicide Squad movie. And Marvel said, "Well, here's the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're just as weird and strange, and let's see what you can do with them." And we saw.
Badass.
So eventually he got fired from Marvel because of, the whole PR stuff and all that stuff on his Twitter and all that.
Yeah.
So then he goes to DC and they offer him his dream project. And of course he takes it. So now I'm curious to see what he does with his dream project, knowing that if Guardians was his babies and they weren't his true love, imagine what this is going to be when he pours all of his crazy heart and soul into this movie.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say like I'm not taking anything away from James Gunn,
Right.
but you got to give it on Marvel's other hand too for their casting because like Chris Pratt and Zoe
Yes.
and
Saldana, yes.
Batista like
Batista.
he was perfect.
Bradley Cooper is Rocket Raccoon, the best voice for Rocket Raccoon.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and then Groot, Vin Diesel, I mean,
right.
okay. But everyone, it was just perfect. And then
Um,
James Gunn he was just a master
he
at
was,
just
dude.
getting everyone to go. And then, that's why to me just the Guardian movies are like top niche for Marvel
They
movies.
still are to this day.
Excluding like the Avenger movies,
Yep.
because they're the big thing. But like Guardians, just them are it's way up there.
I think it goes Avengers, Captain America, Guardians. Because Captain America Civil War and Winter Soldier are two of the best Marvel movies still to this date, no matter what. So
Cat, I miss you, baby. I miss you too.
Cap's up there. Iron Man, you're way down below because Iron Man 2 and 3 were terrible, but the first one was good.
We don't need to even talk about Iron Man 3. That's just
We'll do a podcast. One of these days we'll do a podcast of the bad Marvel movies, of what makes a bad Marvel movie. Because
and then they might watch us, and then they're gonna see how bad we roast them on these movies.
We give Marvel a lot of praise, but their movies are not perfect.
Guys had Ben Kingsley. It was perfect. And
Yeah.
Guys, oh my god.
We'll talk about it we'll get another podcast on it because we're 21 minutes into this. We ain't got another 40 minutes to talk about that. So, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about their formula problems, other things. But Suicide Squad, James Gunn, it's described as a not World War II, Soviet era spy thriller war movie with superheroes thrown in. And rumor has it, here's the big rumor. Rumor has it that the ultimate villain in the Suicide Squad is going to be Starro. And it's going to be, the star that sticks to your face and like possesses people in the DC universe from space. Because there was a leaked photo of a bunch of bodies and they all had these like blue and purple things on their face and it had a big eyeball in the middle of it. And I was like, dude, that's Starro. That has me so hyped. Like if Starro's the villain and all the heroes are down and it's up to the Suicide Squad to save the world from freaking a galactic threat while they got bombs not only in their heads but in their arms, their necks, and their genitals, according to James Gunn. That's gonna be one.
I mean, look at some of the casting. Like John Cena's in this movie.
Yeah. Playing
John Cena,
Captain America. That's what they said. He said
he is play, as Christopher Smith, the Peacemaker, a ruthless killer who believes in achieving peace at any cost. The character has been described by Cena as a douchey Captain America.
Yep.
And you know what? And I remember because I used, I still tune into wrestling, but I used to watch wrestling a lot, like all the way back to Attitude Era. But I watched it when Cena came on and everything, and he played that Thugonomics character, the douchey dude. And I was like, oh my god, John Cena's probably perfect right now. Like I feel like he's probably killing it on screen.
Yeah.
Because that's Cena. Like if he was to be a bad guy, he'd be
James Gunn was explaining Cena's character as he's trying to do the right thing, but he'll do whatever he has to take to do it. You know what I'm saying? So like if he has to kill someone to get it done, no problems. He's pulling out his pistol and he's killing them. Like that's his character. That's cool. That has me excited. Another one that has me excited is Nathan Fillion, who's playing TDK, and his superpower is that his limbs detach, and that's it. And he can regrow his limbs. So he's just going to be ripping off his arms and legs and throwing them at people. And that's it.
Nathan Fillion as Floyd TDK Belkin, arm fall off boy.
He just rips his arms off.
A supervillain who can detach his arms for use as weapons. I feel like he'd be looking like that knight off of the Holy Grail, Monty Python, the Holy Grail.
Imagine him just rips it off and throws it at someone, or just rips it off and beats him with it.
He just ain't got no lips. He's just sitting down. He's like, "Bro, you think we done? Hold on, let my hands get back to me real quick."
They just come back. They're like little harms. Like,
you just see him like,
like, dude, the comedy is gonna be great. We got freaking Polka Dot Man from the Batman way back in the day. I think he was a Flash villain actually originally, before he was the Batman villain.
But they have this. They have oh man, I can't pronounce his name.
Sean Gunn, who's playing Weasel, who's just a giant freakish weasel.
But they have the guy who just played in the Fast and the Furious movie, the Hobbs and Shaw one. He's the black guy. He plays the supervillain.
Yes, Idris Elba.
In
Bloodsport.
Yeah, like
originally they had him written in the script to take over Will Smith's role as Deadshot, but then they decided, well, if Will Smith ever wants to come back, we want to leave that door open for him. So we're going to make a new character and call him Bloodsport, and he's basically going to be a more violent, vicious Deadshot.
Yeah, it says he's he's playing Robert Dubose / Bloodsport. A convicted felon armed with the most weapons out of any character in the film, who is serving time in prison for shooting Superman with a bullet made of kryptonite this dude's for real.
Yeah.
You shot Superman,
Dude ain't
bro.
playing.
And then it says, yeah, and then it shows that Elbow was originally casted for Floyd Lawton,
Yep.
Deadshot.
Yep.
But I think he's gonna kill it.
He will.
He's like one of my favorite actors of all time, like today. Like he's one of, I'll watch whenever he's in. I've watched it. I
agree with you. Iris Elba's great, dude. He's great in everything, even in Cats, and I hate Cats, but he was good in that movie. But oh no, I'm gonna forget what I was gonna say. Dang it. Something about Suicide Squad.
Gotcha.
Forgot now. Thinking about Iris Elba.
I know, dude. He's phenomenal.
He's a great actor, though. Oh yeah, this is what I was gonna say. One surprise role that nobody knows who he is yet is Taika Waititi. He is voicing a character in the movie, but he hasn't been revealed yet. Everyone thinks he's gonna be playing King Shark, but I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna say if Starro is in the movie, Taika Waititi is Starro, because he's got that weird high-pitched voice. So I really think that Taika Waititi is going to be playing Starro more than anything. If not, he could be playing King Shark, but I just think he's not playing King Shark. So that's just me. So let's wrap it up here. We're about 27, 28 minutes into this.
Yeah. Pause. Sorry on my part.
No, I'll cut that out, but they won't even know. They won't even know that happened. So, like, subscribe, and share, guys. I hope you always enjoy our podcast. Keep it here on Dorkston. This is Smash Soapbox. I've been your host, Ghost, joined with
Nike Y43.
Check out his channel as well, guys, if you haven't seen that. Actually, I'll probably leave a link in the description below.
Because content is coming soon.
More content coming soon. Also, he has his own podcast called the NC Podcast, right? So check that out as well. It's on Spotify.
Yep, it's on Spotify. It's Anchor, SoundCloud, XN. I mean, it's on everything.
So check it out there when you guys get a chance, but also come back here because we always got new episodes every single Monday of Smash Soapbox, every Friday on Laugh Your Brains Out. So, adios, guys. Hope you have a good night.
Peace.
Peace.